Hi everybody, it's Martin from CDAS World here, and today I'd like to talk to you about installing a heating element into an insole. First of all, we need to place our heating element onto an insole. This insole needs to have been trimmed to the size of ski boot and ready for installation. First of all, we place the heating element underneath the toes, assuring that we have some top sheet material to stick the new top cover to cover the element up. Next, we're going to take a pen and we're going to mark around the end of the heating element and making a mark where the heating cable joins at the slimmest section right here. So we're going to place the heating element on top of the insole, slightly offset to the outside. The reason we offset the cable to the outside is to avoid any friction issues with the cable on the rear of the ski boot shell with the liner. So I'm going to line up my heating element here, slightly offset the cable to the rear, and then using a pen, I'm going to mark around the front of the heating element. So once I've marked around the circular part, I can see where I need to cut. So I'm going to cut between these ends of these two pen marks. So I'm going to take my scalpel, I'm going to press firmly across, making a large enough incision to fit the heating element through. So now you can see that I've made my hole in the insole. If you have a grinder available, it's a good idea at this point to bend the insole very slightly and just grind off a little bit of extra space here to allow the plug for the heating element to go through. So the next thing, I'm going to take my heating element and I'm going to make sure there's no twists in the cables. I'm going to get the cable nice and flat and I'm going to poke it through the insole. I'm going to pull the excess cable through, being careful not to damage the heating element as I squidge it through here. And then once I'm happy, I'm going to peel off the backing paper from the heating element, exposing the double-sided sticky tape. Once I'm happy, I'm going to place and line up with my pen marks that I made earlier and stick down the heating element. The next thing I need to do is cover the top surface to protect the heating element from the foot, and I found the best way to do this is to simply peel off the double-sided sticky tape on the cover to about a third. Crease the paper and then place the heating cover onto your worktop. The best way to get the best finish that I've found to make sure that the logo for the brand is in the middle of the insole is to place the insole on top, lining it up with the middle of where you think the logo is, and then simply press down on the forefoot, ensuring that you get good adhesion in the forefoot, covering over the heating element, and then we can peel off the double-sided tape across the rest of the insole. And we're going to gently work from the middle, pushing the top cover out to the sides, making sure again that we get good adhesion all the way through, and therefore our logo lands right in the middle of the heel cup. And we're going to squash out any air bubbles that we get there and gently work around the heel cup to make sure that we get a nice smooth top sheet. So there we go, the top sheet is all stuck on, the brand is nice in the middle there, the element is covered over nicely. So the next thing is to either use scissors or we sometimes take to the grinder. We're going to grind off the extra top sheet here. Top tip if you're going to grind or cut with scissors is to dab this in some dust and it will get rid of the sticky here and make it just easier and stop your scissors sticking to the top sheet. So here I don't have a grinder, I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to very carefully cut the top sheet here. And I'm going to avoid cutting the cable. It's something that you have to be very careful of right here, not to chop through your cable as you're using your scissors. Okay, so once you've removed the additional top sheet material, either with scissors or a grinder, the next thing is just to secure the cable to the insole. There's two options here. If you're using an off-the-shelf or pre-made insole, we supply an eye strip in the box, again self-adhesive, and you can tape this over the top of the cable to secure it in place. If you're using a heel stabilizer or a heel stabilizer cover on a custom product, it's the perfect place to install the cable inside the insole. To do this, we're going to place the insole face down. Using a pen, we'll mark onto the cover where we need to cut and then we're going to take our sharp scalpel and cut out a channel for the cable to sit inside. Here I'm being careful just to cut the top cover of the heel stabilizer cover and not the heel stabilizer itself, and just leave that small channel for that cable to sit inside. Now I can remove the piece where I'd like my cable to sit. Place the cable inside the slit. And then I take my eye strip and work out how much I need to cover. Remove the back cover, and starting at the front, cover up the cable and push the cable inside the channel. If I have any additional material sticking off the back, again, I'm going to use some scissors just to trim that back. Keep that cover nice and neat. And there we have the cable installed to the insole. So the final part of the installation is we need the liner. We're going to make a small incision in the liner, nice and close to the baseboard, nice sharp scalpel pushing all the way through, about the length of the plug. So we're going to make sure we're all the way through. And now we're going to take the cable, make sure the cable is nice and flat as we install into the liner, and we're going to take the plug outside of the liner here. The final thing is making sure that the cable isn't twisted again. We're going to put the insole in toe first, push it down and make sure the fit is nice and snug inside till it's firm, and pull out the remaining cable. If the liner's fitted with an elastic loop at the back, it's a nice place to store the cable to make sure that it doesn't fall down inside the boot. And that's an installation of a heating element from Therm-ic. Thanks very much.